Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And it's a holiday weekend for everyone in the States. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am your host today, Joanne. I am the Director of Marketing here with Legendary Marketer. And once again, we have an amazing guest. Before I bring Judy on, let's take a few housekeeping items for everyone. If you would like to receive text messages of when we go live each morning, text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. And if you are interested in any legendary merch, because I always see comments asking about it, go check out our merch shop at belegendary.shop. All right, so everyone is collecting, joining the room, and while we do that, please help me welcome Judy to the show. Good morning, Judy.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing? Where are you joining us from?
I am from Philly.
Ah, lovely. I love it. So give us a little backstory about you and how you found Legendary.
So, I am a full-time dental hygienist,
Mhm.
and my husband and I have been together since we're 17. We're now 43.
Oh,
And we quickly learned when we had our son when we were 21 how to work hard and grind for some money.
mhm.
So, we had our first mortgage when we were 22, and we realized, we needed to do something in our life where we would make money and be able to provide for our kids. And that's when I decided to be a dental hygienist. And my husband decided he wanted to be a Philly fireman. So
Nice.
we both got into the programs, the hygiene and the fire department at the same exact time.
Mhm.
And we realized how broke we were. So that's when I learned side hustles. I
Mhm.
was 25 in college with a baby, and my husband in an academy where he didn't really make much money. And I started selling on eBay. This was 20 some years ago when eBay just started, and it was,
Okay.
you could sell stuff really quickly. Now you put
Mhm.
stuff on there, it doesn't really sell as fast. But I was selling old clothes, old toys, anything we could possibly imagine. And I realized that I loved quick money. So after I graduated the dental hygiene program and I started making some good money, and my husband was, building himself up to top tier in the fire department, making good money. We were living life. We had 2 kids. We could do whatever we want. Then we hit 39 and got surprised by a third pregnancy.
Love it.
And the same year pandemic hit. So, with the third child
Oh,
and inflation and being off work for a year, we were back to struggles. And that's when I started searching how to make money from home.
right.
Because how do you work more when you're already working 40 hours a week?
Mhm.
And, I hate asking my husband to work overtime because he has such a dangerous job. And,
Right.
he'll do it, but I feel bad about it because God forbid something happens to him when he's working that overtime shift. I would never be able to forgive myself. So I started searching on TikTok different ways to make money from home. And I was like really consumed in the whole drop shipping thing. I was researching it for months. And then I realized the more I got into it was it's a lot of work. And I was like, this isn't going to work for me because I don't really have the time to invest into this drop shipping. You got to know so much stuff and you got to do
There's
your
a
research.
lot more involved than what people realize
It is, and like
with that
you would
model.
see videos, people saying, "Well, I make $20,000 a month drop shipping," so it's intriguing. But the more you look into it, the more you realize like there's a lot of returns on Amazon, and there's a lot that you can get stuck with, and you can actually get deeper in a hole financially if you don't do it the right way and learn the right way. And I just didn't have the time. So one day, I believe it was Kelly, the teacher that does Legendary. I seen a couple of her videos and I started following her and I'm like, there's no way a teacher would be on here lying. This has to be real, right?
I
And
love Kelly. I
I
love her
know.
authenticity with her story.
I
Um,
do. And it was her last day of
Beautiful.
work yesterday. I'm like
Yep.
so happy and so proud of her. And I don't even know if she knows me. I follow her from the outside. So Kelly, if you're watching this, you're the one that turned me on to this. So
Yeah, and Kelly's going to be a mastermind speaker in a couple weeks in Florida, so we're
that is
super
awesome.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kelly was one of the ones I started following, and
Mhm.
Kayla Hutchins And I feel like I resonated really well with her. She's another East Coast girl. So I started talking to her, and that's actually who I bought the $7 course through. And she's amazing. Anytime I asked her a question, she would get right back to me and like literally help me through this whole business. And even though she's got her own kids and she's got so much going on with her own business, she was so helpful. So Kayla, thank you. And that's exactly how I got here, and I love it.
So how long were you seeing things about the challenge before you decided to jump in?
It was probably a good year. I've watched
Oh,
a
wow.
couple people. Yeah, like I said, I watched Kelly for a while, and there was a couple
Mhm.
others. And then I believe Kayla started like around Christmas time
Mhm.
and of this year. And right after Christmas, we just got back from a Disney trip. We had the holidays and we were broke. And I'm like, I got to start something. Like, this is insane. It shouldn't cost $400 to go food shopping.
Basically, you got to the point where, it was like, you know what? I've been seeing this. The $7 is worth it.
Yes. So
It's amazing how $7
I said, you know what I said?
really
I said,
hangs people up. And it's like,
I'm
it's
either gonna
just
lose $7, and that's fine with me. And I'm gonna
right.
prove, okay, this didn't work for everyone. Or I'm gonna
Mhm.
buy the $7 course, and I'm gonna prove a lot of people, including myself, wrong and make this work.
Right.
And I think it was like the first day I launched my business, I already had my first little commission, and I was like, whoa, it's on. This works, and that's it. There's no going back now.
I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. So you also, if I remember correctly, reading your questionnaire, you also dabbled in some MLM,
I
correct?
did so when the pandemic first started, there was a company called Arbonne, which I love the products. I still have
Okay.
them and I still use them. I just didn't
Yes.
love the business model.
Yes.
I don't want to build a team. I don't want to rely on people below me to make me money.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to look after a team. And, I want to be able to promote whatever products or whatever services I want. I don't want to be stuck to one company. So
Right.
it wasn't for me. I did it for like 3 or 4 months and quickly realized it definitely 100% was not for me. And I would never want to do an MLM again.
Yeah, you felt, how did you feel reaching out to friends and families?
I
'Cause
hated it. I felt like a stalker. And then I'm like, but then you have that person above you that's like brainwashing you. And they're like, you have to reach out to your family and you have to set up these, little parties that they're going to host for you. And, you have to. And, then I'm like, you have to reach out. I think they said you have to reach out to 100 people a day or something like that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
reaching out to people that I haven't talked to in months. And I
Right.
just,
Make that list. There's
yeah.
nothing worse, you guys. There's nothing worse than a random DM from somebody that you went to high school with that you haven't talked to
And
in
the funny thing is
decades.
I've had people do that to me before and I just roll my eyes and then here I am doing it. And I'm like, this is
Right.
awful. This is awful. I'm like, I'm
You
not
just
doing it no
feel
more.
like dirty doing it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work
It
out.
definitely wasn't for me. I mean, some people love it. That's great. But it definitely was not for me.
Yeah. Well, I totally get it. But that first task when you join an MLM is make your list.
Yes.
Write down as many names as possible and
Right.
start
Your top
going.
100. Your top 100. If I would have heard your top 100 people one more time, I was going to explode.
And you're like, oh, now I gotta babysit this person if they are interested.
Right. Exactly. Now I have to watch this whole team of people and make sure they're making money so that I make money. No thanks.
Right. I will, and I'm not. I'll. There are many people that have found great success in MLMs, and there
Right.
are some absolutely fabulous products. But
And
yes,
that's
the process can be a toll on many people and
right.
hard to upkeep for sure.
Yeah. And you have to love what you do. And if you don't love it, it's like it's going to show all over your face. It's going to show in your business and it's going to show in your finances. Like you're not making the money because you're doing something you don't love.
Right. Yeah,
So,
totally. And I think, and that's the key to remember. And everyone can take right now from this interview, it doesn't matter what you do, you have to enjoy it.
right.
You have to have some excitement about it when you wake up. And
Right.
if it's bringing you dread, there's
Right.
always going to be fear involved.
Right.
But it should be like an
Completely normal.
excited fear, not a oh, I just don't even want to open my computer
Yeah.
dread.
Because not only do you have to promote products, but you have to, you have to like talk people into joining you. And it's like you're involved in two things now. And it's just, And that's the brilliant thing of social media that I love. It's free advertisement and you're not personally stalking anyone. I hate cold messages. I will never cold message anybody.
Yeah.
And I love that I can go on, I could be myself, I could talk to my, target audience. And if they're there and they want this, they'll message me.
Yeah. I think that's important for anyone that's struggling too with, well, what niche should I go into?
Mm-hmm.
As you're going through the challenge is your introduction to the digital world. It's a great introduction and an appetizer, as Dave likes to say, which I love, to see, how do I feel about this? Do I want to go further? Do I want to take action in this? $7, easy for you to make some decisions. You're getting informed.
Right.
But when you're picking a niche, it's really good to think about, look at all the different, what you're passionate about is one thing, but see, what are you excited about? What are you excited to talk about? What do you get excited about when you're in a group of friends that you like to give advice about even? It's then the sky's the limit of what can you share.
Absolutely.
And then
exactly
when I was anything, anywhere.
When I was picking my niche, I started wanting to do the whole hygiene thing because that's what I do. I'm like, oral hygiene. But then I'm like, that's boring. Like, I'm more passionate about, like, from one struggle of mom to another. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Make money every month. And whether it be with Legendary or other, like, more doors keep opening up for me. And I love it. I love it. So I would have never known any of this business model if I've never dove in and took that $7 course. I would have never knew any of this was available.
Right. And that's what's beautiful, is that this journey is massive, and there's many opportunities, and there's many paths, and there's many, but you have to be open to it.
Absolutely.
Open to learn, not chase every, shiny object that's out there.
No.
Because you'll just confuse your audience. And also remember, you're building a business, so you want to be ethical with your business. You don't want to be slamming, attacking, and negative, because ultimately that just comes back on you,
right?
As the marketer, as the person that recommends. People don't want to hang out. It's fun for a little bit to listen to drama, I guess, if you choose marketing that's negative.
Right.
But after a while, it just doesn't sustain. So you've got to learn those skills. And so if you're into it, you're learning the skills, and you're building a beautiful business that you enjoy, that you love, that you connect with, that's what will last forever, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. You're 100% right.
So how is your experience going through the challenge? Like, when did you know, okay, I'm actually going to implement?
Day one.
I love it.
When the Dave's video where he's talking about, sales funnels and email response, I'm like,
on day 3. Yeah.
Well, that's how they do it.
That's like the light bulb moment. And sometimes people still don't get it.
It really is.
You seriously, like, you're in a funnel all the time. If you give your email to anyone, that's a funnel. It may not be a good one, but it's a funnel. Or it's a really good one.
I could post a link on my page, but, like, that doesn't mean people are going to buy from me. Well, that's, as soon as he opened up and started talking about sales funnels and email responders, I'm like, I have to learn this business.
Yeah. And there are sometimes, I love to scan social media in different niches and just see what type of content is out there from big content creators all over the place.
Right.
Sometimes you see people that have a huge following and there's no link. They're not, and it's like, oh.
I see that and I'm like, oh, can I have your following? Can I have your following? Because I don't have a large following. I really don't. And people say all the time, how are you making, all these leads and conversions with no following? And I don't know. I mean, I honestly could say that follow-up is huge. You have to follow up. My first blueprint sale that I sold, I didn't know the person. She never reached out to me, and it irked me and bothered me for like a good 2 weeks that I couldn't reach out to her and be like, I tried on TikTok, but she took her account down. Like, I wanted to help her. Like, I didn't just want to sell her this blueprint. I wanted her to be in my community now, and I wanted to be able to help her. And after that, I said, you know what? No more. From now on, as soon as somebody reaches out to me, I'm going to make sure I follow up with them. I'm going to, as soon as I see that they signed up for that $7 course, I'm going to find out where they came from, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. And I am going to introduce myself to them in a private message, not an email, not an auto responded email. I want to privately message them and be like, hey, saw that you bought into the $7 course, congratulations, your first step of financial freedom. What can I do to help you? Or I'm here as a mentor for free. I'm not charging as you go through this process. And then as soon as I see that they get closer to, their advisor appointment, I reach out to them, good luck today with your appointment or whatever it may be. And then a third follow-up, how was the appointment? How was your business plan? What can I help you with? And I feel like they really like that. They say it all the time. Wow, like I've done this with a bunch of affiliates and I've never had a follow-up like you give. So that's one thing that if you're watching me, follow up.
Ultimately, you're building a community for your business.
Yeah.
And that's where the myth of it's all passive comes in. It's not all passive. Yes, you can absolutely get a commission, hit your email while you are sleeping, while you are on vacation, but there is some ongoing work.
Right.
And some affiliates definitely put in more based off of what type of community they want to build. Some want to have the groups and the more, closer connection. Others are fine with it. But also once people come into the challenge too, it's important that they find their people and find the right group. And it's okay if it's not, you don't have that connection with your affiliate too. There's just multiple ways to do this and go about it. And I love that you found what feels good for you and your business that you're building, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. The first few weeks I was trying too hard to be like other people that were really successful. And quickly I realized like this, I got to be me. I got to be myself because I feel like I wasn't getting followers. I wasn't getting any leads. And I feel like people could sense that I was just mimicking other people. So as soon as I started being myself is when it started to take off.
Absolutely. I can't stress this enough. You are building a personal brand. If you are putting your name and face out there, regardless, you are building a personal brand. Now, if you are doing this under like a business name and you're never showing your face, and that's a little bit different marketing for sure. But if you're showing your face, you're going to go live, and all of that, you got to be you.
Absolutely.
People can smell out if you're trying to pretend to be someone else. And you need to find your people. And the best way to find your people
is to be yourself.
Yeah, and not look like everybody else online.
Right.
There's just, there is no other way. You have to be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where this path, entrepreneurship, really forces everyone to look at the demons in the mirror. What kind of negative self-talk are we telling ourselves?
Right.
What are our limiting beliefs?
Yeah, mindset is everything, honestly.
Yeah.
It's 99% of this business is mindset.
Right. Yeah, it just comes to that. Did you struggle with that at all when you had to make your first video?
Absolutely. My mindset was in such a negative place. I worried too much what family and friends were going to think of me. So I went on and I even blocked my husband. I blocked everybody on TikTok, including my husband. Because I'm like, I've tried so many stay-at-home things before, and I don't want to even hear what he has to say. He didn't even know I was starting this. And then, like a couple of weeks in, he was like, he's seen me making videos. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Nothing. I'm just over here in the corner.
And I told him, and he was like, "Well, why don't I see your videos? I follow you on TikTok." And he like looked on his phone, and he's like, "Did you block me?" I said, I did. But it's funny because, I unblocked him and he's like my biggest supporter. He's so funny. He'll like be at work and he'll text me different, oh, you should do this TikTok and look at this. He's constantly sending me stuff. So he's huge. He's like a huge help. But at first I just didn't want, I don't know, but I had to get past that mindset. I had to get past, I don't really care now what anyone thinks. I'm doing this for me and my family. And
you know what I love is that no matter what you decided you were going to take action, you just found the boundary you needed at that time.
Right. And that was to block everybody.
Yeah. And, and you can do the same thing on Instagram. If you're creating a new account for your business on Instagram, before you even post anything, block the people, that little voice, all the worries of the people that you think will have an opinion.
Right.
They may see the account, they may not.
Right.
Add some reassurance. Block them
think I
right
have
off the start.
20 people blocked. And I was like, you know what? It makes me feel better knowing that I'm talking to people in the beginning that I don't know.
Right.
And it makes me feel more comfortable on camera. And if this is what I need to do for now, that's blocked.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And there's even on Facebook, you can stay friends with people and you just restrict what they see, which is a beautiful thing. If that's what you need to keep going and to get going, do it, because you can always go back and change it. You know?
And you get past that really quickly. I think it took me like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I was like, I'm done. I unblocked everybody. I don't care anymore.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I love it. So at some point you just went, screw it, we're good, unblock.
Because then my mindset changed. Now my mindset was like, okay, well, they are going to come on and view me. It's going to bring more viewers. So let's use them now. I got real confident real quick.
Right. Well, and I think that's awesome, though. It's important for our viewers to see that you can go through that process. Nothing's permanent, especially social. I mean, because you could lose that account. And then you start a new one, right? And you just find the boundary you need so that you can just keep taking action. And I know for some, that first initial boundary is, I'm not going to show my face. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with work. You just don't like the way you look on camera. If that's what you need to do to get started, do it. And I think it'll help you get to the place where you can show your face on camera.
Absolutely.
So once your husband found out, how did he respond to it?
He was like, anything you ever did, like, I had a photography business I forgot to even mention out of my house for 10 years. And when I got pregnant with that third baby during the pandemic, I completely gave up the business, but I never went to school for it. I completely taught myself everything on YouTube, and I was making a lot of money doing it. It was just a lot of work. So he said to me, anything you've ever put your mind to, you made a lot of money. Like, why would you even think that you needed to block me? So he was just supportive right off the bat.
Yeah, not angry.
No, he was like, you're crazy. He knows how I am.
Right. I love it. But I love that he's like, what is she doing over there? Making videos in the backyard.
And I was like, and he was like, what are you doing?
He probably saw it too and waited a couple days to even ask about it.
I was like, I'm making some videos.
I think that's what my husband would do. He'd be like, yeah, I saw you doing something for a little bit, and like finally bring it up. I don't think he would bring it up like on first if I was in that process. But I get it. And I think there is no perfect action. There is no perfect way to start. You just got to start.
Right. That is everyone says, give me one word of advice to help me get started. I'm like, just start. Like, I waited 12 months. I sat on the fence for 12 months debating whether this was real or not. And it was proven right in front of my face over and over again. But I just didn't want to believe that we're in times now where you could actually make serious money from your phone.
Do you think that's because, I mean, I'm pretty much the same age as you. Do you think it's our age and how we grew up originally?
Absolutely. Times have changed. And I feel like, when we were in school, it was embedded in our heads, like college. Like, you want to go to college, I don't know, when you're from Philly and you're growing up in like a middle class family, mostly everybody in my area that I grew up in was middle class. You get taught you either go to college and get into like a healthcare. That's the only way out to make a decent income, or you go into some kind of trade. And that was basically what we were taught. And now it's, 20 some years later, and the internet is just amazing. There's so much you could do with the digital world and convenience. People don't want to go research all the work themselves. They want it handed to them. And a $7 course that's jam-packed with how to start your own business is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I think
for me, I thought there's no way.
Right. And that's common. And I see that in the comments, of different things like, oh, there's no way they teach that, but we do teach all of the basics of
Yeah.
what you need to get started if you choose to, once you see what it looks like and how you
Right.
feel about it.
Right.
And I think that's just what's beautiful. I've been in the online space for a really long time. I've seen a lot of products come and go, and nothing can hold a candle to the value that's given in this challenge.
So true.
Nothing can.
So true.
And anybody that tries to attack it, and it's like, there's nothing to attack. It's a $7 introduction. We don't try to, there's no promises, there's no guarantees. It's an education, it's an introduction to a new world, and you get to see how you feel about it.
Right. And it's not mandatory to upgrade into anything. And there's, I
It's
tell
not.
people, many businesses, there's always upgrades, but you go
Right.
take the $7 course and you realize like you love this business model and you want to do this, but now you're stuck a little bit because you don't have any background into the tech world. Well, guess what? We have different courses and different, coachings or whatever is on the Legendary site to offer that to you. You don't have to. Right. But it's here for you if you want it.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to. And not everyone does. And that's fine. And that's beautiful. That's what I love about it. There's something for everyone of what you need.
Yes.
I remember Amy Ayers. I love her. I don't know if you know her. She is in our community. She's been in our community for a while. And she would get that question a lot on her lives. And, and she was like, I upgraded because I knew nothing.
Right.
I needed the extra support, but maybe you don't, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I always explain it to people as a fast track into a business. And, so I don't remember who it was. It was one of the Legendary affiliates explained it to this on her live. And I stole it and I use it all the time. We're going to go put you in a city that you've never been before. And you have to get to the other side. You're either going to, have a map that gets you directly there with no troubles, or you're going to do it yourself and you're going to hit some bumps in the road, some dead ends. It's going to take you longer, but eventually you'll get there. So which one do you want to do?
Right.
And I love that. I love that comparison. I love how she explained it.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that too. And I know someone said it's misinformation calling it education. You have to learn to do anything.
Absolutely.
And we are definitely in education. For those that are thinking about blueprints or putting it out there, we actually just added a new upgrade to it. Is we have 19 different niches with business plans, with offers, with template funnels all built out.
Amazing. I did see that and I read over everything and I was like, wow.
Yeah, which is huge because that's a big roadblock of what niche should I go into. And if anything, anyone that's brand new to blueprints is when you have access to that, read and you're feeling stuck, read through them all. And like we talked about earlier in the conversation, what sparks excitement in you? Which one of them is like, oh, I love this? And then run with it, because there's so many different niches in there that's listed. And it goes through audiences and all of the pieces of the business plan that will really help spark your own creativity of how you want to start your business and go down. Or if you're looking to add a niche.
Right.
There's a lot of marketers after you're in this for a while that have multiple IG accounts and multiple.
Yeah, I always say start with one. And once you feel comfortable and once you feel like you nailed this one niche, move on and add another. Why not? It's another stream of income.
Yeah, definitely. Talia says she's stuck between health and wellness versus make money online. I think if you're into health and wellness, go for it. If that's what you have a history in, that's what you can talk about easily. You can be creative with content that you don't have to go and copycat everyone else out there. Go all in with it. That's awesome. I love that.
And that is an amazing niche because you got to think about it. How many times do people go online and they're looking to get healthy? They're looking to lose weight. They're looking to, strengthen their body and just be healthier.
Yeah. And there's so many little smaller audiences within that. I mean, health and wellness is a massive niche. You could go into so many different little
Absolutely.
tidbits within that and freaking dominate.
Right.
love
I know.
it.
I was looking into the health and well, and it was like overwhelming because there was so much stuff you could do with it, like vitamins and healthy shakes and,
Mhm.
vitamins for your hair, vitamins for your nails, gut health. There was just so much stuff.
Right? It is, and it's massive when you really, and that's where it's like, just pick one and go in with it for a while and see how you feel about it, and then, but don't just think about it. Go in, create a TikTok account, create an IG account, start building content around that niche and see how it starts to go, how you feel about it.
Yeah. I think the more you think about it, the more overwhelmed you get. You just have to start. And that's finally, I just started. And then as soon as I started posting content, it just kind of falls into place for you.
Yeah, definitely. Kurt, you get access to all of those business plans. So I know that you have been in blueprints for a while, Kurt. So you'll go up to products and then you'll see bonuses, and under bonuses you'll see DFY business plans, and they're all listed and in there. I'm getting a lot of questions, so
okay. Make
sure to share that. Like, wait, where is that? There was an email that went out to Blueprints members about it too, but we let all of our affiliates know so that you can talk about it with your members as well. Regardless if you're in Blueprints or not, you know what you're promoting as an affiliate, because as an affiliate of Legendary is separate than being necessarily a student of Legendary.
I'm actually glad you reminded me, because I have a prospect today who's purchasing the Blueprints today, and her email this morning, or message this morning, was like, oh my God, I don't know what niche to go with. And I forgot all about it. I got to tell her there's a whole part in the business plan where you can read over that now.
That at least will help overcome some of the challenges that anyone new is feeling once they've made the decision. Yes, I need more help, and yes, I want to do this.
Right. But now I don't know what niche to go with.
Right, exactly. I love it. So what other piece of advice would you give anyone that is in the challenge, trying to figure everything out, feeling not tech savvy, just struggling a bit? What's your advice for that person?
My honest advice would be to honestly just stay with the one program, because when I looked into this 12 months ago, I was like, oh, I'm going to figure it out on my own. And then I go off onto YouTube, and then you go onto different sites. And before you know it, you have dozens of people messaging you, trying to sell you their course. Every course is different. They're trying to sell you their mentorship. And then you get overwhelmed and you are getting pulled in 20 different directions. And then you decide, like, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to put it away. It's just too much. Stick with one program and learn it thoroughly and put it into action. Block out anything else that's coming your way. You have to stick with one thing.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of different ways. What's the saying? A lot of different ways to skin a cat.
I just, when and it wasn't that I didn't want to spend the money to learn the program. I just was like, oh, this is probably, I'll learn it myself. I'll go on YouTube. And before you know it, you're following all these different people, and you have all these different people reaching out to you. And then you're like, well, this person told me this, and this company told me that. And then you're feeling like, how's it ever going to work? I'm getting pulled in all these different directions.
Right. And I've seen some really bad advice get put out by newer marketers.
Right.
And I'm gonna go up on my pedestal just a little bit, but Dave doesn't like to be a guru. He doesn't like to be put up there. But this is someone that still to this day actually practices affiliate marketing, along with building out a course and building out this community. He's seen the ups, the downs, we all have, and that's a great person to listen to and ask questions to within our community than somebody that's just brand new 2 months in and you're hoping it's the right advice. Yeah. Especially if you have 10, 15 people DMing you that are all just starting out with their own advice, and it's all different. That's when you got to go, okay, I'm not going to open my DMs anymore because it is a total shit show in there.
It is.
And focus on who should I listen to?
Right. And that's when I listened to Dave's story, and I seen the struggles that he'd been through, and how long he's been in this business. I thought, this guy knows what he's talking about. Like, he is definitely a marketing genius. This is who I'm going with. This is where I'm going to learn how to do this business with. And I've blocked everyone out. I deleted all the other accounts I was following with different companies. And I said, sticking with this one.
Right. Yeah. And what's cool is he's not a absentee CEO. He's so involved.
Right.
And they really, him and Aaron and our CEO, Julie, really infuse their ethics, their expectations into all of us that do communicate with all of the members and different students and all of that. So that's what I love. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I love that you felt that as well going through the challenge. And things have changed.
You have to do research. You're going to invest your money and your time into a program. You want to do your research. And it's just who I felt most comfortable with. And I felt he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have to have you back and all of that good stuff. And you can meet Dave hopefully on your second round with us.
Yeah. I wanted to tell Dave too, personally, when I see him next time, maybe. Thank you. I was watching one of his videos and he was saying how he did his very first live and his family was in the other room, and he got into the room and he shut the door and he went on and there was nobody on there. And he said, I still went through with it. I told my family it was jam-packed with people and I still did the live. And I was laughing because my first live I had 0 people on. And I said, I'm just going to do it. I listened to what Dave told me. I said, I'm just going to do the live. And I went through the whole live as if people were on, and I was cracking up. I said, I got to thank him because it made me feel better. Now, the next time I do it and if people are on, I'm going to feel more comfortable.
Yep, you got to do it. So that's you're teaching yourself. You're giving yourself practice. Whether there's 0 people on, 1 person on, shoot, if there's 1 person on, now you can have that personal connection and conversation. That's a beautiful thing too.
Yeah.
So there's always a positive way to look at everything. So definitely.
Absolutely. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And I hope you have a great holiday weekend.
You as well. All right. That was a fantastic interview. Catherine, if you just joined, have purchased the blueprints, jump into all of our live training, our coaching calls. We have them Monday through Friday. We have Support 101 where we answer all the tech questions. We have hot seat and fast feedback. We look at accounts. We provide feedback. We give strategy advice. That is available to all Blueprints members Monday through Friday. And those bad boys are not just an hour long. Our coaches stay on until all the questions are answered. And if you are working a 9 to 5 and those just don't work out, on the first Saturday of every month, Ryan does an extra long coaching call for all of our Blueprints members as well, and stays on until those questions are all answered. Plus, all the recordings of those coaching calls are available on the Register for Live training. Have a great weekend. Monday is a holiday. That doesn't mean we won't have Wake Up Legendary, but we do have a recording. I recorded it just a couple days ago for all of you, and it is a interview you do not want to miss. I absolutely loved it. As always, everybody, stay legendary. And if you want to follow Judy on Instagram, you can do that here at boss_mom_Judy. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.